So I'll just get started with an introduction about myself. I know it says Sigana board in my tagline, but my name is Narayanan here, and I just graduated from CG not so long ago. I was there from 2015 to 2019 in the computer science department, and post the engineering, I did a work experience in Bank of America for around 3 years after which I thought of coming to the US to do a master's, and I did a master's in Duke University, which is engineering management. A little bit different from computer science, so I wanted to stay in the tech field and still use my business acumen as well. So I did this engineering management degree, and I'm right now in North Carolina, one of the eastern states, and currently working as a product manager here. So to tell a little bit about who we are, let me just share my screen and show what Sigana is all about. Sigana is the Alumni Association of North America. I'll just touch upon it for a minute and then I'll just talk about what AAC is. So this is going to be Sigana, the College of Engineering India Alumni Association of North America. Um, so basically, this was founded in 2011 and it's a nonprofit here. And this is pretty much the alumni association, which, yeah, hi Prashant. And this is the alumni association, and we have this website which I would post in the chat for you guys to go through and yeah, post any questions if you have. And I'll just go through what we are and the current board members. One of the board members is here, who's Prashant. And we do a lot of events and collaborate with the Alumni Association in CEG to do a lot of things. And Prashant here is going to be one of the board members here, and he's the secretary. So through Sigana, we partnered with Alumni Association of CEG to do the Ask a CEGian program, which is going to be the AACEG, the ones that you have seen in the registration. This is all about the Ask a CEGian mentoring program, which is run by the CEG Alumni Association of North America in collaboration with the AACG. So this is kind of like a very good resource. If somebody mentioned that during the time I was here in Chennai doing the bachelor's, I would have felt that this would have been really helpful for me as a student who's wanting to pursue a master's in the US. Um, so this has a lot of resources. You have the resource of getting a one-on-one mentoring with someone in the US who has gone through the blocks and come out successful here in the US, completing a master's and working here. And there are webinar series where alumni meets a lot of students and have this session. They answer questions and then cover some topics that they have in mind. And there is this online database, which is free for all knowledge, and there are a lot of links inside that you guys should check it out. I feel like that would be helpful, and there's also this seminar here as well. So this is kind of like a brief introduction about Ask a CEGian, and we have some panelists coming in today. Prashant is one of them. Said sir is one of them, and hopefully we are waiting for Shanta ma'am also, who is uh, who's an alumni from 1971, and we'll have this panelist talking about what Ask a CEGian is, and then we have the current ambassadors who would be talking about their experiences, what they've gone through the past year, and they'll also be giving more information about what Ask a CEGian is and talking about their experiences as well, so that you guys are more informed about all the resources that we have here in CEG. And after that, I will give a formal introduction about the new set of ambassadors that we have chosen for the next year. So currently, I'll stop sharing and check who are all here and probably pass it on to them to um, talk more about Ask a CEGian as well. I think Prashant is here, and we're still waiting on the other panelists. So I would ask Prashant to go first, if you're okay, Prashant, to talk about
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
your background and yeah.
sure. So I'm from the 2015 batch, and I did my master's I did my bachelor's in computer science, and then I did a master's and a PhD from Dartmouth College, which is in New Hampshire in the USA. And so my specialization was in cybersecurity, and in my undergrad, I was mostly working on systems, which is more like, so for those of you who are in computer science, like I was working on compilers and things like that for my final year project. Uh, so one of the things that I had experienced when I was in undergrad was that when I was applying for masters and stuff, I didn't have that much support in the form of people reviewing your applications. Like it was just a bunch of us who got together, some friends. We would review each other's SOPs and recommendation letters, and that would only get you this far. But once I moved to the US and I got to know about Sigana and Ask A CEGian program, I was actually involved in reviewing like plenty of essays for people who are applying to the US for masters and for PhD and stuff. Similarly, for people who have been looking for like final year project topics, who have been trying to get into like cybersecurity research, we've been like involved in plenty of like one-on-one mentoring programs as well through that. So those are like broadly the kind of things that Ask a CEGian can offer. Of course, like job searches are another big thing where networking is pretty much what helps you get a job. So like one-on-one mentoring is another place where if you can get to know a mentor really well, then they can put you in touch with people that they know, and they can refer you to jobs and so on. That's just a quick introduction for how I have been involved in Ask a CEGian and how I've been helping people. Uh, I'm open to answering questions. I'm sure Narayanan is also. So yeah, like if you have questions, please speak up, put it in the chat, and we'll be happy to answer them.
Yeah, thanks, Prashant. Um, so I think we're still waiting on the other folks to join Insight Sir and probably Shanta ma'am as well. But in the meantime, I think we can um, bring up our current ambassadors and let them speak about their experiences here if they're already here. Um, so, Arti or Sharda, do you guys want to talk about your experiences and how you have found this useful and how you would recommend the juniors in your college to use this resource, or any pointers that you might have um, from last year?
Hi, I'm Aarti from the Department of Civil Engineering. I'm currently doing my third year, and I've been an ambassador in Ask A CEGian for the past year. Yeah, 2023, I joined this. So how I got into this is that I had no idea. I want to join all the clubs free. I was applying to every single thing I could find. But once I applied and they conducted interviews and started getting serious, I realized I was really lucky to land in this because the my understanding of what to do after UG or how to get internships, like the whole professional part of things, I was really clueless before. But after joining this and talking with people, talking with the board, talking with alumni, etc., attending the events, I really knew what are the things I can do, like what should I do to get good things, and what can I do to really mess things up and stuff like that. So my takeaway from being an ambassador here would be that please come attend the events. Like you have no idea who you're gonna meet, what you're gonna talk about. Like you need not have a plan. If you come here and talk, you're gonna get a lot of good information, the information which you think would possibly, have not influenced you or something like that. So my suggestion would be just go attend, especially Ask a Agents events. Like, you're gonna get a lot of information. You're gonna meet a lot of awesome people, like, people who took the same path as you, who faced the same stuff and all. So mentorship is underrated, but it has such a huge impact. So yeah, and make sure to just, it's okay to be confused. Come, sit, talk, have fun. Yeah, so this is what, I wanted to say. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Aarti. Those were really kind words, and hope you found this impactful. And yeah, with that being said, Sharda, do you want to go about and talk about your experience as well? And yeah, I would pass it on to you now.
Yeah, sure. Am I audible?
Yeah,
Oh,
you're audible.
so I was also recruited as an ambassador of the Ask a CEGian program. And as Aarti said, the interview process was quite interesting because it was my very first time being asked situational interview questions, which is actually a pretty popular format in most interviews these days. And I found that pretty interesting. But let's get into the meat of what I did as an ambassador. As an ambassador, I got to organize a one-on-one mentoring program. So what we did is we had 15-minute slots with different mentors where students could come in and talk to them, and they would book these slots in advance. And they talked about a variety of subjects, and it proved to be extremely beneficial for a lot of the students because after the mentoring sessions were over, I got to speak to the students and get their feedback and hear what they thought of it. And I think the thing is, it's a lot easier to speak to someone who's been through the very same things as you. So these are people who've gone to CEG, who've studied under the same professors, faced all those same assignments and stressors that we do on an everyday basis. So I don't think there's anyone else who can understand you the way that the people in Ask a CEGian can. That's one of the greatest advantages of this program. And one more benefit of one-on-one mentoring is that no two people's career paths or desires are ever aligned. So it's very beneficial to get perspectives from people in a manner that is personalized to you. Now, one thing that I got to learn from the journey of being an ambassador is that you have to get very good with dealing with huge amounts of data very quickly and organizing things. And I think I picked up a lot of skills such as getting better at Excel and learning how to import contacts from Google Sheets directly into my phone and things like that. Being a part of the Ask a CEGian team has given me opportunities to do so many other things. I've also benefited immensely from the program as a mentee myself. I've spoken to many of our alumni about what I want to do in the future and to get a clearer idea on that. I've also contacted them with regards to interview preparation because preparing for interviews is something that is very company specific. Each company has a different thing that they're looking for, and it's important to speak to people who currently work in a particular company that you're aspiring to get into if you want to get more tips on how you can be well prepared. Additionally, there was also an opportunity to participate in an app development project, and I think that has by far been a very exciting experience where I got to apply all of the knowledge that I've learned so far in my courses in real life. And I'm sure that if you guys join the Ask a CEGian program, you will get many such opportunities to apply your knowledge in the real world. Thank you. Do you guys have any questions? You can feel free to shoot. Or you can mail me after the session too, that works.
Thank you so much, Sharda. And I was just going to touch upon the app development experience as well. This is about the Ask a CGN website, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So before doing that, I think we have Shanta ma'am joining us. We would love to hear from her before talking about the app development and what we did there and opening it to QA. Hi, Shanta ma'am. Thanks for joining. I think you're on mute, ma'am. It's so good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank
We
you for
just got
having me.
started. Yeah, we just got started. We did some introductions from my side and Prashant, and then we talked about a little bit about Sigana and Ask a CEGian, and post which we moved on to the current ambassadors who talked about their experiences on what they did here.
Mhm.
And just at the right time, you were able to jump in, and we would love to hear from you as well about your background and about Ask a CEGian and anything that you might want to offer to the students here.
So my background is that I have several decades of experience leading software teams around the world, and currently I am teaching at Carnegie Mellon University Silicon Valley campus in the Master of Science in Software Management program. I teach leadership and career strategies and innovation and entrepreneurship. So that's about me. But with Ask a CEGian, I'm one of the founding members of Ask a CEGian, and we have seen Ask a CEGian go through, many years by now. It's just that I think that we haven't really how do I say this? We haven't automated a lot of things to make it scale beyond where we are. But then on the other hand, I think a lot of the mentoring happens on the ground in CEG by others as well. And for the most part, the students who are interested in Ask a CEG and are those who are interested in coming to the US, for which we have I hope everybody knows there is a database called Gold, which they can go to get a lot of answers. And then, of course, we have the Ask a CEGian program where we match up mentors and mentees. So that's about me.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And yeah, so quickly, I just wanted to shift gears and talk about what Sharda was mentioning, the app development experience that the students did as a part of the AAC this summer, I think from July to August, if I'm not wrong, right? Yeah. So let me just talk more about what that is. So basically, over the last semester break, like 8 to 10 people formed a team to work on a cross-platform application to facilitate the one-on-one mentoring between Ask a CEGian mentors and CEG students. The team was split into basically a variety of different aspects, and people took on different roles like back end, front end, design, AI, and even product, etc. So the idea was basically to build a quick MVP in a short time, which is probably I think 6 weeks. Um, and currently, they were able to release it or not, Sharda? It's still a work in progress, right?
Yeah, it's still a work
If I'm
in
not wrong.
progress.
Yeah. Okay, got it. So they were able to build the foundations of it and still a work in progress before the release. But I just wanted to give a shout out to the people who worked on this app development. And I'll just post the link, or Sharda, even you can post the link to the website so that the students can make use of it. So in terms of shout out, I would like to call out the project manager who was Aishwarya, and the product manager, one of them, I think Sharda, you were one of the product managers, right? And marketing, and Samyukta as well. The UI and UX designer was Saravanan, and the front end developer was Divya and Kavya, and the back end developer was Niranjan and Jayashree. The AI specialist was Shivasurya, and the QA was Meta Surinder. Yeah, I just wanted to give this call out as Kumar Guru um, is the person who led this, and he wanted to bring to life the real life work that students are doing as a part of this club. And I hope in the next year you guys can chip in as well if you guys are interested in taking on real life projects and see it come into fruition. Let me just pull up the website as well so that you guys can take a look at what work has been done. I've just posted in the chat, so Sharda, you can verify if that's the website. And yeah, so we are at a point where we have covered most of it, and right now I would like to introduce a new set of ambassadors that we have chosen as a part of the next cycle, which is 2024-25. I'm not sure if everybody is here, so I'll just call out names, and if you guys are here, you can probably speak uh, a minute or so about yourselves, what department you guys are from, and what is something you love to do outside of studying in CEG, or um, one of your favorite hobbies. So just give a formal introduction about yourselves as well. Yeah, let me just go out and introduce the new ambassadors for next year. The first one I would call out Ahilash. If you are here, you can probably introduce yourself first.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Uh, Good evening, everyone. I'm Mahilash. I'm from Information Technology second year.
Mhm.
It has been honor to be a part of this group. Really looking forward to working with a lot of people and getting to know more about the association. And I would like to have more knowledge on what exactly we can combine and work in this association. And I think students in my community, they don't have a lot of knowledge about this particular association. So I would like to bring in a lot of ideas to that from which we can develop and connect the students who are not aware of all of the opportunities that we provide in this group. So I think that is something that I would like to bring in. And I would also, I didn't basically know that this was only about the, I basically thought this was only about the opportunities that we are getting, but getting to know more about the apps that you guys develop, that is something that I would also be interested in. And yeah, that's basically it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ailash. It's a pleasure to have you here and to work with you through the next cycle as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. So up next, I would ask Swayam Prabha if she's here to introduce herself.
I would love to introduce myself, but can I do it later on? Because there's some issue with my camera. So I think
No
I'll probably
problem.
go.
No problem. Just ping me once you're ready. I can probably
Yeah,
ask you to
sure.
introduce again. Yeah. So next, probably I would call out on Danya to introduce herself, probably which department and her hobbies and anything else she wanted to call out as well.
Hello everyone, I'm Dhanya Vikram. I'm in second year biomedical engineering department, and it's really nice to be here. Honestly, I would like to make the best use of this opportunity, and I'm really looking forward to working closely with the alumni as well as my peers, and hoping to learn some new skills on the way, as well as spread the word about this Ask a CEGian to more people so that it reaches more people and more students, especially of CEG. So yeah, that's pretty much. And about me, I am also a Bharatnatyam dancer, and I like music as well as theater. So that's pretty much my extracurriculars. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Danya. Thank you so much for joining us. Probably next, do we have Sumia here? Looks like we don't.
Doesn't look
So
like
we'll
it.
just,
No.
yeah, we'll just move on. Do we have Reese Ahmed?
No.
Okay. Do we have Samyukta? Looks like we don't. So I think we are down to the last member, which is I think Swayam Prabha. So if she is back again, we can hear from her, or
Yes,
we
I'm
can move
here.
on. Yeah,
Yeah,
wonderful.
one second. I'll just turn my video on.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Swayamprabha. I'm a grade at CSC. I learned about this through Sharada, who I happen to know because we work pretty closely in music. And I feel like this is a great opportunity for exposure. I feel like that's something a lot of people in college generally struggle with. And a great opportunity to gain mentorship. As Arati mentioned earlier, I feel like it can be a big game changer. That's why I'm here. I'm here to gain insights about mentorship as well as spread awareness about this program because it can be very beneficial for a lot of people. About me, I'm a classical violin player and I also enjoy doing yoga. So.
That's great. Yeah. So that's pretty much all I had on the agenda from my side. I think we got done a bit early on the agenda, so we have a lot of time for questions if you guys do have. I would suggest you guys to ping in the chat or probably come out of mute and ask any questions if you guys have. I'll just open the floor to questions.
Can I ask one?
Yep.
So Prashant has mentored quite a few people as part of this program and probably outside this program. Perhaps you can talk a little bit, Prashant, about your experience and what makes a good mentee.
That's a wonderful question, yeah.
I don't think there is a bad mentee. But yeah, being proactive, asking what is on your mind, making the best of the resource, I think is in short what I would say. Yeah, I mean, like, just feel free to ask as many questions as you have. If the mentors are busy, then they'll just be slow to respond. But I think as alums of the same college, I think we're all pretty open to responding to any questions that you may have. And this kind of mentorship, like, it goes far and wide. Like, it can be really broad career advice about whether you should pursue a particular master's program or pursue a particular career path, or it could also be really specific as to reviewing your resume or reviewing your essays, suggesting like who you should work with for a PhD program, for example. But yeah, I don't think there is a bad mentee as such. Shanta, would you disagree?
I did not say bad mentee. I said what makes for a good mentee. Doesn't mean there is a bad mentee. But I think you brought up this excellent point about asking questions. I think mentor-mentee relationship is that it's a safe space. You are expected to ask any questions and no question is dumb. The whole idea is that the mentor is there just for you to get help on, and asking for help should be pretty straightforward when you have a mentor. You're not asking in a big forum. You have actually somebody who's going to be listening to you and helping you. So that one quality, asking questions, is extremely important. But I think on the other hand, I would say the best mentees I have had have always come back and said, okay, this worked or this didn't work, so that they are actually making the mentor better mentor as well. So when I say a good mentee, that's kind of what I meant. No bad mentees.
Yes, I mean, completely being proactive and communicating what works for them, what doesn't work for them. Like, for example, I've had situations where I've been like, send me emails, and then they'll be like, I don't feel comfortable. Like, that really slows me down. Can I can I get
Yeah.
your number? I just want to WhatsApp you. You can reply at your own pace, but just WhatsApp me questions.
Yeah.
And yeah, like we do accommodate things like that, of course.
That's great.
Now that we have broken the ice, we want questions.
I would like to mention something. So yeah, I would probably pass it on to Aarti for her question though. Yeah, Aarti, you can go ahead with your
Sorry,
question.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I raised hand just as you started speaking, so sorry about
No,
that.
no, that's fine.
My question is that which is better, either doing UG and following it up with masters and then getting placed, or doing UG, getting placed, getting work experience, and then doing masters. So, which one of these two is the better option?
I'll take that question because I've had a kind of a different experience and I've seen it through both the lenses. I wouldn't say which is better and which is not. To answer that question in the beginning, that it's just like different people have different experiences, and you always wouldn't know without like actually going through uh, probably one of those options. So why would I say like I've had both the experiences? Is because I had an elder sibling. He's here in the US right now. He's working for a company called Micron. So he also did his undergrad in Anna University, but in the MIT campus. So I did it in CEG. My brother did his undergrad in ECE, and he came to do a master's in the US without doing a work experience in India. And then I, on the other hand, had a work experience in India and then came here. To be honest, I've also worked with a lot of people who are here and did the same master's that I did, which is an engineering management without having work experience. Generally, if you see people doing a management experience, people would assume that somebody would come in with work experience so that it's easier for them to get placed after their masters. So, but that's not the case here. Um, I would say that it's up to you to build the profile that you want, and if you have a clear story about what you want to essentially do in your resume, and it shows through to the recruiters, and they would understand that okay, you have the right profile. It doesn't matter if you have work experience or not. But on the other hand, sometimes it would matter if you have work experience for certain roles where they expect you to have a little bit of experience on that role. But essentially, I wouldn't say one is better than the other. But both me and my brother are here in the US and we both have jobs. So I wouldn't say that
Okay.
one or the other is a failure.
Can I
Okay,
add to
so
it? That was a
Yeah.
great
yes.
answer, Anand. My take on this is, in the old days, most of us didn't have any kind of internships or project experience. But
Yeah.
today, in colleges, you can get a lot of experiences working on projects. After your second year, I believe, in CEG, you can get internships. So by the time you graduate, you probably have as much experience as you would have had after, say, 6 months or something along those lines. And when that is the case, if you have done all that, there's nothing that should prevent you from going for a higher studies and showing everything that you did in terms of working. So I think those distinctions are kind of not holding true today, in my opinion. And again, as Anand said, it really is something that's unique to you. One of you might be extremely happy after graduating to go straight into a postgraduate program. On the other hand, somebody else might say, oh, I actually want to see what the actual real life working is like, and then I will decide if I have developed interest in a particular area or not, and then I will go to that. So it really depends on you, actually.
Also,
Yes.
one other point that I thought of was when I was choosing my master's, it would have been completely different. For example, I did a computer science background. I worked here for 3 years. I actually didn't know what my interest in which field is. Like, if I had chosen a master's after my undergrad, it would have definitely been on computer science, and that's because it's two reasons. One, in undergrad, I did computer science, and the second one is my parents say that this is the right career path for you because we've been doing computer science all along from your schooling and undergrad, and so this would be the right choice for you. But I took a step back um, because my brother also said that try something there and then come here. During that experience, I realized that my strengths lie in different spaces, and my role is not exactly software engineering. I realized that my next role would be in product management at the intersection of technology and business. Um, so that 3 years in India helped me realize that this would be a good field for me to do a master's in. So that worked out in favor for me. Um, but yes, if you are fixed on what field you want to do the master's in, then I would suggest do a master's after undergrad because knowing what your interest is one of the main cogs in doing the masters. Without having the interest in what you wanted to do, I feel like it'll be very difficult to survive in the masters here because the environment is different.
Uh, that was very helpful actually. So, from you guys' answer, what the thing I have in my mind is that I should know what I want to do, and to figure that out, doing internships and all the small projects etc. should help me figure it out, and then based on what I want to do, the role etc. I can decide. Yeah. So, thank you so much. It was very helpful.
I
One other
think
thing I would call out is, yeah,
I
Prashant, go
think
ahead.
I'll add to that to say that it's absolutely very personal. I think everything is a journey. I mean, you're 21 when you're making this decision, right? So it's incredibly young. One big constraint here is definitely finances. Like masters is not cheap, so definitely that's also a big constraint. So if working for a few years does help it in any way, then definitely you should do that. And I don't think you're missing out on anything as such. In fact, you're probably gaining a lot more experience, and you're gaining some amount of independence in India also by working for a few years. And that can also be really good. And another very interesting thing I'm seeing recently is that uh, a lot of professors and research groups in the US are entertaining people for the 6-month internship during the final year. Like the last semester, you can just come and do the entire internship in a research lab here. And that's also something that I'm seeing a lot. And quite a few of them, the professors just convince them to stay for a master's or a PhD, like in a completely paid position with like scholarship and stuff. So it seems like that's also a path that is possible and probably economical as well. So if you like were exploring doing like your final year project elsewhere, then that's also a good idea.
That was very interesting. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Yes, Ailash, go ahead.
Yeah, I have two questions. I've always been confused about what goes into an SOP. So I would like to get your insights on what exactly goes into the SOPs. And the second question would be specified to ma'am. What exactly do I need in my SOPs to get into CMU?
Hmm.
Yeah, ma'am, I would let you answer the question. Looks
Okay.
like, yeah.
So SOP has to come from your heart. That's my simple answer. It has to say what you are interested in and why you think the school you are applying to makes sense for you. And so you have to talk about your personal interest in advancing yourself and how would that institution fit into your plan. And that means showcasing some of your experiences, showing what kind of lessons you learned from those experiences and how you think the the college would help you further your career. So for a master's, it's about the subjects that you are interested in and how that program would help you. And for PhD, it would be researching the professors who are doing research and what kind of research interests you. So it's a combination of those things written in a very simple way, not a prose, not a complex not in a complex language. And don't trust ChatGPT to write it for you. If you do use ChatGPT to give you some ideas, don't use it just like that, but go through it and refine it and put it out as your own, not somebody wrote for you. So that's about the SOP. Again, many colleges have different requirements in terms of how many pages are words and what kind of format it should be and so on. So you should pay very good attention to what the institution is saying about writing the SOP, because they have specific requirements and they vary. Now, CMU is extremely competitive for certain areas. For example, AI is extremely competitive, ML is extremely competitive, robotics is another one. And for all of these, SOP is just one component. The rest of it has to come from your academic credentials, how your professors recommend you, and if you have done some research or have done some innovative projects. So it's a mix of those different things.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Sure.
Yes, Danya, go ahead with your question.
So, like from the previous answers, I realize it's very important to consider internships and projects during our UG if you are planning on doing masters or in general. So I've been wondering this for a long time. I'm very keen on doing my masters, but I'm totally clueless at this point as to which field I want to pursue it in. So for students like me, will it be better for us that during our UG we take up internships and projects in different domains so that we explore? Or are we just wasting our time and should we just stick to core?
I would give a part answer to that question and would let others chip in with their opinions. The first thing is, it's not bad to be confused. I am still confused here about what I would do in the after next 2 years. I know I'm good in this role for 1 or 2 years, but after that, I would have to see what comes next. But one of the answers that I have for your question is definitely like studying is one thing, doing it practically is another thing. An internship or a project would definitely make you realize what it is that I have to do to be successful in this role or that role. So if you do that for like 10 or 12 weeks, you would understand, okay, this might be just a trailer for what would be the movie for this role. And then if you didn't like the trailer, definitely you wouldn't go for the movie, right? And then same comes with projects. If you do a full-time project, like the final year project, or even a project that goes in for the whole semester, you would realize, okay, do I like this part of the course or this? For example, if it's computer science, that's the only thing I know. And in computer science, if you do a DBMS project and you don't like database, you wouldn't do a master's, or you wouldn't pick a course in the master's that has database, something like that. So once you have the practical application on that course, you would be in a better position to answer that question for yourself, saying that, okay, am I interested in this part, or am I interested in this subset of the whole course or not? And then you would be able to pick the role that you would like, because there are different roles even in computer science. You have like 10 roles or 15 roles. Like you can be a software developer, a full stack developer, or front end or back end, so many other things. So doing this internships or projects, I think it would definitely help you realize if you have interest in that role or not. And then it would also play into the factor that if you want to do a master's in the US, if you have interest in that coursework itself. And any other opinions also to answer that question from others also welcome.
I mean, yes, trying out more internships is a good idea, but you only have a few years for that, right? So you only have a few summers. So things
Yeah.
may not pan out, especially like at the end of second year, it was incredibly hard to find stuff. The end of third year was pretty easy, but end of second year, you're also too early. You've not really done many courses. So it can be challenging to find internships at that point as well. So I guess the one question that you probably need to ask like in your third year is, do you really like the field? And if you don't, then you need to try other things, right? So I think like most people end up kind of liking it, but not everyone would. So if you like it a lot, then maybe doing a master's right away is a good idea, and you can take more courses there and explore other fields, try to do another internship there. But if you really don't like it by your third year, then I think the decision is right in front of you that you need to try exploring other things.
Yes, fine, Prabha, go ahead.
So I know that CEGiana is basically an alumni network of CEGians based in North America. But I think I speak on the behalf of a lot of students when I say that a lot of us are confused whether to pursue masters in India or abroad. India, it's very exam based. So whatever we went through in 11th and 12th, it feels kind of tiring to have to go through that all over again just to get into another school. Whereas I feel like the US is a lot more, it's application decision accepting is a lot more subjective. So there's no guarantee that you're going to get into schools. So I wanted to ask your opinions as to pursue how, as I wanted to ask your opinions as to how the advantages and disadvantages pan out while pursuing masters in India versus US.
Do any of you guys have opinions?
I think I'd want Shanta's opinion on this. That's a very
Yeah.
interesting question.
Yeah.
Masters in India versus abroad. What do you think, Shanta?
Can you repeat that question?
I wanted to know what the advantages and disadvantages of pursuing masters in India versus US are. Because in India, it's a lot more competitive exam based. So whatever exam you write, there's either a guarantee or there's not a guarantee that you're getting it. But abroad, it's kind of subjective. It's not just based on your scores.
So in a nutshell, the question is, are you better off going to the US and following a path versus staying in India and following a path? Again, just like many other question and answers here we have heard, it entirely depends on the individual. And I know it sounds like a cop-out answer, but that is actually true. For some people, it may work out to be in India and follow whatever path they choose. For others, they could go to the US. In the old days, it seemed like there weren't enough opportunities in India and there was so much competition for everything. People felt that going abroad would be better because you can find some opportunities there after the studies. But today, the kind of opportunities that are in India are just tremendous. So today I tell people, look around, see what you think about the opportunities that exist in India, and would working in the Indian ecosystem would be beneficial to you, or then look at what's going on in India. It has to be more than just going to the US. So yesterday I was listening to a talk, and one of the presenters said, "Oh, we came here to be here. So grab any job that you can get, and you can always make a switch." for that kind of person whose goal was to be in the US, irrespective of everything else, absolutely, you have to follow your dream and you make it happen. But if you are conflicted about whether you want to come here or you want to stay back, you have to do a lot of research. You have to think about what would life be like. You have to imagine. You know, they say imagine your future. You absolutely have to imagine your future. If you stay in India, what would be my future look like? And what kind of things I can pursue? And what are the possible challenges I might have? What are the possible advantages I might have? Pros and cons. You have to go through that exercise. And you have to go through the same exercise for going to the US. When you are very young, it's obviously very hard to know exactly how things are going to pan out. But today, unlike in the days when I was growing up, there is so much information out there, and the people are very knowledgeable about what's going on. And I think as long as you ask good questions, as Prashant said, you will figure out what is good for you and what is not so great for you. And then you can follow that path. Now, guaranteed, even if you do that, you will change your mind. You know, life and career, they're not straight lines. You will go through zigzag, you know, it's a winding road. And the people who continue to go through that winding road are people with tenacity. They know that they have something to look forward to. They go forward. They are optimistic. They think they can learn from their failures and they keep moving. So today you may think, okay, I'm going to go to the US and I'm going to study. 2 years, 3 years down the road, things might have completely changed for you. You're probably thinking at that time, well, I don't know whether this is the best for me. I want to go back. And unlike in the old days when going back and coming back and were all very, very difficult, today it's not that difficult. Granted, even now I was just looking at one news which said people who are on H-1B visa in India are having so much trouble because, you know, I forget, they introduced something where you can go and apply for a visa, apply for renewing your visa or whatever. For India, it just seems to be so tremendously difficult. They are not able to do it. Now, all these difficulties, even after experiencing them, if you feel this is where you want to be, yes, absolutely. But if you look at what's happening in India today, India is now considered the place to be. You know, all the multinationals want to be there. They have established their research labs, and the working in some of those places are equivalent to how it'll be working in the US. I'm told even the salaries are just fantastic. So when that is the case, if you are a person who values very close relationship with your family, you don't want to leave your loved ones and come this far away to the US, maybe, you know, coming to the US is not for you because you can make it work staying in India. So why am I giving this roundabout answer? It really depends on your particular situation. There are also those who cannot afford all the big, expenses associated with coming to the US. Yes, you can apply for scholarship, you can, borrow, and all those things are perfectly fine. But some people may not want to do it. So anyway, that's a long winding answer.
Thank you, ma'am. That was very interesting.
Thank you, ma'am. So I think we are at time now. We are too past the time. So if we don't have any questions, I think we can close the session. I just saw that Aishwarya and Meta also joined. So I just wanted to thank you guys for the work that you did in the app development for AAC.
Yeah, one quick feedback on that link you posted. Always CEG branding, Ask a CEGian branding, not some
Yeah.
generic thing.
Yeah. True.
Noted, ma'am. We'll
Thank you,
work on.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, Prashant. Bye, Narayan. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
One.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you for
you.
joining.
Great seeing you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.